Hello and welcome, fans and viewers, to another Walking Dead vlog. And in the category of Fear the Walking Dead, but more of an overall vlog for the Walking Dead universe, I promised you this vlog yesterday when I did my Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 1 review vlog. Now, if any of you guys saw that video, it was named incorrectly. I just want to say that right now. Like, the title was messed up. Like, YouTube didn't save my settings or whatever, so I noticed it this morning. I went in and edited it, so it's updated now. No worries about that. And I linked it on Twitter after the fact, so I didn't link an incorrect, like, title or whatever, so... I just want to say that real quick, but in that vlog, I promised you guys that I would talk about the ending of the premiere of Season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, because it alluded to a very interesting figure with a very interesting symbol. Now, let us take a look at this symbol, because it is, as 100 other videos and 100 other news articles have probably said, this is the same symbol that was on the helicopter that took our beloved Rick Grimes. Yes, Jadis was in contact with this individual via radio. She was driving the RV that Heath was in, so we know through interviews and other things that Corey Hawkins maybe will return, but Heath was taken by this group as well. So Rick and Heath share the same fate. Maybe other people too, but those are the only ones from our main original Walking Dead cast that we know were taken. And Jadis, of course, but she's been in contact with this group for who knows how long. We're probably going to learn about Jadis's backstory more and how she interacted with this group, when she interacted with this group. Because I have to imagine she was with her band of junkyard people and they did one of their alien deals where it's like, you know, you have this, do we have this? Like where they use the least amount of words possible, and they somehow came to an arrangement with this group. However, the group was using resources of the junkyard. They were using the solar panels and the helipad when the helicopter landed. So the locale, did this group, that's the first question I'm posing to you guys, do you think that this mysterious helicopter group with the nuclear symbol, did they always have a base of operations at the junkyard, or did Jadis scout it out for them? Did they discover Jadis in the junkyard and they saw that there was a perk to teaming up and having a deal with them because there was a helipad and there were additional resources at this junkyard, despite the fact that it was a junkyard, it did have some sustainability to it. Do you think that's the case? Do you think that there was, because we don't know what the deal was between Jadis and this group. She's spoken about it a little bit to Father Gabriel. We saw her, obviously, trying to negotiate. She was going to trick the guy, if you remember. Before she encountered Rick Grimes washed up on shore, she was actually going to shoot the pilot and take his helicopter. She said to him in the radio, it's not a trick, not anymore. And she had a pistol in her hand. And she was probably just going to use that helicopter to maybe go somewhere else, maybe not go back to their base, maybe just use it as a mode of transportation to run away. I don't really know what her end game was, but we're going to obviously find out what that is in the movies. Now, we could also find out a little bit of the precursor to that in Fear the Walking Dead. Some people are, all people, most of us, are trying to figure out what the timeline is. And I would say that this is just before, I would say that we're maybe a month before Rick got taken in the chopper, or we're right at the moment that Rick got taken in the chopper. Will we have a Morgan-Rick reunion if somehow the Fear the Walking Dead cast follows down the rabbit hole of pursuing this group, and somehow they get captured, or they see one of their bases, or something? Will we see that? That, I think, would be very, very cool. You know, because we did have Morgan and Rick's last conversation in the Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 premiere when Morgan was in the junkyard before he went west. We had that scene where Rick was trying to convince him to not leave, and then he said, all right, fine, but you're gonna find people regardless. So now, there could be some foreshadowing in there, so because Rick said maybe you're gonna bump into people regardless. So maybe he's saying, like, that could be a foreshadowing, like, hey, we'll meet again, as much as you tried to get away from us, you'll encounter the people that you once knew in some way, maybe not the way you thought, but you're going to get to them eventually. So maybe Rick was, in a very weird way, alluding to that. Obviously, he could never have foreseen how his fate was going to turn out. But there is that. So I'm jumping a little bit over the map here because the first hints that we got of this group was season 8, episode 6. Rick is walking towards the junkyard to show them the photos of the sanctuary when he's trying to recruit them to fight Negan and the Saviors. And as he's walking towards the place, he sees a helicopter flying over. And we're not sure if he's going crazy. He really just stops for a minute and he's just like, what? Like, he just freezes. He freezes in place and is completely perplexed, as is the audience. He has our reaction too. Then, when Jadis has Negan captured in the junkyard in season 8, episode 14, she's trying to actually escape on the helicopter, but Negan's a little antic with getting the gun, almost burning her pictures with the flare. There's a bit of a scuffle they get into, and she's unable to wave down the helicopter. And Negan actually sees the chopper, and I think his exact words were, "What the shit?" Like, he's looking in the sky, and he's like, "What am I looking at?" Like, I don't think, even as the feared leader of the Saviors with the incredible manpower that he has, I don't think he's encountered a helicopter before. Which is odd because they're not that far. If I don't know distance-wise how far the sanctuary is from the junkyard, but you would have to assume with the manpower and the number of soldiers that the Saviors had, that at some point they probably would have looked in the sky and seen a freaking helicopter. I mean, a helicopter, it's pretty easy to spot. I mean, it's in the sky. It's not like it's a car or a freaking bicycle that's on the ground. Like, it's pretty easy to spot. Maybe they did see it and they weren't able to shoot it down. Maybe they were given orders not to. I mean, that's if the most likely answer, if you were to ask Scott Gimple, is, the helicopter knew the path to fly and he scoped out the area ahead of time, or it was just the right place, right time. Saviors just didn't encounter them. Whatever. But for me, the Saviors had so many people. How would they have not seen this helicopter if it's flying from the junkyard to its home base, wherever its home base is? So, I mean, because again, the Saviors were an empire, a tyrannical empire that had control of much of the Virginia area. The Hilltop, the Kingdom, like all the groups we knew. Oceanside, I mean, except for the Oceanside hidden ocean fortress. But all the groups we knew, except Alexandria, which was kind of pocketed away. But it also depends when Negan came into power, how long the Saviors were at their peak. That might also have something to do with it. So, the length of time is important too. But to get back, I know everything pieces together, but I'm kind of building the argument here. Well, not really argument, just facts about this group that we're conjecturing. The photo that had me interested, I made a tweet about this. It's the guy in the season 5 premiere of Fear the Walking Dead, the black suited soldier with the rubber armored uniform, and he's got like this triple pronged spear attached to his back. Like, I thought it was like a lightning rod or something. Like, is it just to stab zombies into people? I don't know. He used a taser, like just a close range taser to tase Al when she was on her video camera, and she took the notes. But I don't know how. I mean, we'll probably see him use the weapon at some point. Now, we also had the other individual who had in the previews, who will probably be in later episodes, who had the hazmat suit on, who was holding a pistol. And he was shooting something. I don't know if he was putting down a zombie or if he was aiming it at one of our main characters. But I'm assuming that he's a scientist that's connected to this group. This is obviously a group of scientists. This is a group of scientists, somebody who's experimenting with the walkers. Because you got the radiation signs, like radiation, nuclear power, atomic power. Something plays into this. And again, like when you get into the science of it, then you're kind of coming across, how did the virus start? Are they trying to cure the virus? Are they trying to harness the power of the virus? I had this in one of my theory vlogs where I said the ultimate Walking Dead theory, which basically broke down to, what if humans had the power of walkers? Because the walkers, as we know, can only be killed with a headshot. So what if humans had the power of walkers, where they can be stabbed, shot in the chest? It's kind of like Shane. Remember Shane? He's like, why is it still coming? And he keeps shooting the zombie that Herschel has on the leash. And Shane's like, I just put 4 rounds in the chest. Why is it still coming? Well, what if a human full cognitive ability, what if a human had that potential to basically survive that many shots from that, that Shane was putting in that one zombie? So could this group be you trying to figure out what makes the zombies, what gives them this power? Like, why is this being still alive after you decapitate its arms, its legs, stab it in the chest, shoot it with a shotgun in the chest? The only thing that stops it is puncturing its brain in some way. So why is that? So theoretically, if you had a giant helmet like their armor, if they had a big black helmet or something to protect the head, you could theoretically be practically invincible with this modification, because you could never really be harmed. I mean, it might hurt, I guess, physically, but you, under these circumstances, if they're going to harness the virus like this, you would be in a way, way, way heightened position of power. Now, that's just my theory. I had that as a theory a couple of weeks ago when I did my ultimate theory. When I was kind of piecing together what they were doing, I was like, Fear the Walking Dead is teasing this group, and then the Rick Grimes movies are going to address it, and then I'm sure the original Walking Dead show, after the Whispers and maybe the Commonwealth, eventually the Walking Dead original show, I believe will get to this group and follow up on it in some way. But I think this group pieces the whole puzzle together. I think this is what the show, the original show, Fear the Walking Dead, even this third spin-off series in the movies, I think they're all building to this point. I think they're all building towards, like, is this group a bunch of adversaries who are trying to make super weapons from the virus, or are they trying to maybe cure the virus? Maybe Rick will go on a crusade to cure the zombie virus and save the world, and then Rick will be the hero of the world for helping Jadis and the scientists and whatever trying to solve this virus. I mean, he's been gone 6 years in the time jump in the original series, and we've offered conjecture what keeps Rick at this place with these people for so long. Like something. It can't just be a coma where he forgets who his family and Michonne and Judith are. Like, that's out of control. Like, that's just, I can't imagine that. So, what could it be? This group, again, like I said, they're doing some type of experimenting. We've seen this in Fear the Walking Dead. In the first season, the roadblocks, the nuclear signs, and our group is coming across it. But I'm trying to figure out, like, what exactly they're experimenting. My big conjecture is, as I said, they're trying to turn it into a super weapon. But did they unleash the virus? Did somebody actually consciously unleash the virus, or was it an accident? Again, I want to know this. I know Kirkman keeps... For those of you who don't know, Robert Kirkman, whenever people ask him about the virus, how it started, what it is, he doesn't want to deal with it. He's like, I just want to tell stories about people surviving and the drama. And okay, but I mean, we've had 9 seasons of the original show, 4 going on 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, and now we're going to get the movie. Like, we've had a lot of Walking Dead content and a lot of people, and I think that's why they're doing this. I think that both shows, Fear the Walking Dead and the original, have run so long that you're getting to the point where it's like, you have to go into some of the almost fantasy sci-fi-ish kind of things to give the show not only maybe an eventual conclusion, but give it that extra value to it. And I think I'm intrigued. I have not been intrigued for a group more than Negan and the Saviors. Like, when I was following the comics and I knew Negan was coming up, I was like, oh my gosh, who's going to play Negan? The Saviors? Oh, it's the best part of the comics. Now that that's done, I'm like, my mind is spinning because this isn't in the comic book. So I can't predict this at all. I cannot predict, unlike the comics where I knew I knew Negan wouldn't die, he'd eventually be captured. Like, I kind of knew those things from the comics. I don't know anything about this group. I don't know who's in it, what Rick's gonna do, what Jadis is gonna do, you know, if Heath can film and Corey Hawkins wants to be in the movies, if what part he's gonna. I don't know anything. This is really completely going in the other direction of the right now. The Walking Dead comics is going in a very dangerous, dark direction. I'll talk about that later. If once the issue comes out tomorrow and we're confirmed on things that happen. I already made a previous video on the fate of Rick Grimes, if that's kind of, you know, in foreshadowing enough of what it is. But I right now I'm kind of like, well, the show's going in a bit, for me, I'm like, the show is going in a better direction. Whereas a year ago, the comic books, I thought had the better story, and the show was making a mistake by not following them, by killing off Carl and having Rick leave the show. But now that I see the grand scope with this mysterious group at the forefront, now I'm kind of intrigued. Now I'm kind of like, what is going on? What's going to happen? Like, oh my God, I can't predict. Oh my God, helicopter. I mean, the first freaking episode of The Walking Dead, Days Gone, where Rick is in Atlanta, he sees a helicopter in the reflection of a skyscraper. Could that group have been in the first episode of the series ever? Oh my gosh, conspiracy theories. What if the whole time, like when Rick goes up to the rooftop and he talks to Morales and Andrea and he's like, did anyone of you see the helicopter? And they're like, what helicopter? It's like, what? They were teasing us this whole time. And again, I don't think they had that kind of intuition years and years later. I think they just coincidentally lined it up when they were deciding how to let Andrew Lincoln exit the show. But, yeah, lots of conjecture, guys, and I'd like to know your thoughts. So please tell me, how do you think this is going to go down? How do you think, like, what's going to happen? What is this group? Tell me that's the main point of this video. What is this group? Who are they? Physicists? Are they freaking scientists? Evil warlords trying to harness the virus? The U.S., you know, the politicians, the government, the remnants of the government? Kind of like Fallout. If you guys have played Fallout 3, the Enclave was the remnants of the government that banded together to kind of create a foothold that the government had once had and lost. Because we have never seen the government before. They have not popped up. I mean, Deanna from Alexandria used to be a congressperson, but we haven't seen a joint force of governmental forces, military, whatever. I mean, we've seen some blockades of the U.S. Army and the military, like the one the governor, he kills those guys. And so we've seen, and even in Fear the Walking Dead, when the outbreak was first starting, we had that military camp in L.A. that was martial law for that period of time. So, who knows? I don't know. Only the mighty Scott Gimple knows, apparently. So, let me know what you think. This is a big conjecture video, and I'm really excited to see where things go. And this image is going to live on in my mind until I know what the hell is the cause of it. And that is what, and I like what I said for doing Fear the Walking Dead review vlogs. As much as I had reservations about the show in the past, now that they've added this really cool plot point, I'm hooked. I know that they're going to put some filler in from some of the other things we need to get to in Fear the Walking Dead, like getting the dam back from Logan, meeting up with Salazar and seeing what he's been up to. I know there's other things that they're probably going to pad the show, but I hope eventually we get some type of satisfying answer as to who these people are, or even maybe a little bit of an answer, so then it's like an appetizer, so then we're like, all right, I'm ready for the Rick Grimes movies, and now I want, now I'm really going to get the answer once those come out. So, yeah. I'm ready, guys. I'm ready, and I hope you are too. So, post up your theories and comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you. See you later.